On today's episode of Identity, social entrepreneur Viwe Gxwala hangs out in the Identity coffee shop. We attend a concert celebrating Christ's resurrection. What's Happening features the review of a creativity-boosting app and a book by Michelle Friedman. And we wrap up the show with a track from Male.
I am an individual with an imagination. My inner faith illuminates innovations. In a space with infinite inspiration, I was born free from all incarceration. Incredible, living infallibly, intelligent, outshine with my inner being. This is me, impeccable as ever been. I am you, you are me. This is my identity.
Icawa esikilekileyo kuni nonke kwaye ndiyabulela ngokuba nikhethe inkqubo ehamba phambili eyenkolo ezahlukeneyo eyolutsha eza kunceda niqala iveki yenu ngentshiseko. Ndingumsasazi wenu uViwe Gxwala kwaye le yi-Identity. I hope you have your cup of tea or coffee in hand and are ready to embark on this 30-minute spiritual journey with us as we bring you the best in spiritual infotainment. And to help us kickstart the show, let's meet today's special coffee shop guest. What comes to your mind when you hear the words tea party? Is it images of women from the Victorian era elegantly sipping tea in a sun-filled dining room? Or maybe it's a group of women sitting in a kitchen discussing anything from the weather to the latest fashion trends. Well, whatever the case, a cup of tea has long held the power to bringing women together, and the young woman joining me today was inspired by this fact. Viwe Gxwala is the founder of Her-Destiny, a social enterprise that provides a business networking platform for young women that is centered around the concept of tea bringing women together. I want to find out exactly what's brewing in her life. Viwe Gxwala, welcome to Identity.
Thank you for having me. Viwe.
Okay, so I want to start from the top. Please tell me about your upbringing.
Yeah, so I was first born in Soweto, Diepkloof, and from there currently was then raised in Muhlakeng in Randfontein, and that's where my mom and my grandmother live, right? So when I was 13, my dad passed on. So for the majority of my life now, it's just been my mother and my grandmother. I think growing up with such strong women in my life, you know, who had so much love for me, and they still do, that was my upbringing. It was always women in the house.
And speaking about love, since it's a spiritual principle, how was your spirituality like when you were growing up, and what significance does it have in your life right now?
I grew up in the Seventh-day Adventist church, so both my mom and my dad were from a Seventh-day Adventist background. So that is church on a Saturday the whole day, you know? And you're growing up and your peers at school just don't understand how can you be at church the whole day on a Saturday, you know? But more than anything, I think that in itself, because it's church the whole day on a Saturday, there's different programs, and part of the programs, there'd be the pastor, there'd be the elderly people, and there'd be us, the young people there, who would partake in different programs. And I think that for me, even if you grow up and you decide not to be Seventh-day Adventist anymore, if you decide not to go to church anymore for whatever reason, those principles last with you like the whole time, you know, the whole time, every time, whether you're in the workplace, whether you're in a social environment, you always just conscientized because of how you grew up.
So some people might know you from season 2 of One Day Leader.
Yes.
Tell me, how did you get into One Day Leader, and how did it benefit you to be there on the show?
Yeah, so getting on One Day Leader, actually, a friend of mine saw the advert, and they thought of me, and it was December. I remember it was around December when the applications were about to close, and she's like, no, please just catch the advert. And actually, one of the girls that I grew up with in church when we were all young, she was part of season 1, so my family was quite familiar with it, right? And when my friend told me to apply, I was like, okay, why not? And we got the call, we were on SAFM debating, you know, and we got shortlisted from there, and we then had to further debate in a panel, and I got chosen. It was so daunting because you have to almost present your idea in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
You know,
I remember you were quite feisty though when it came to those 30 seconds. Yeah.
You know, and then you also have to debate, and defend your ideas and in front of the whole country. So it's not just between Viwe and I, and we having coffee, and Viwe's got all the time in the world to listen to me because she likes me. No, these are strangers. Some of them will say the nastiest of things, but you always just have to go there with purpose in mind. And I think more than anything, because there's 6 of us within the program, you always have to go there for reasons bigger than just the competition, right? Because you've got 1 out of 6 chances to get the title. So I think more than anything, having gone in there knowing that whatever happens, this is much bigger than me, and it's much bigger than a season, right? So 1, it strengthened my own convictions as a leader. Number 2, I think it made me see, because we visit different communities, right, throughout, and you get to see how other people across the country are living. So in as much as there's certain things that I don't have, you become more aware of certain privileges, you know, and just maintaining the purpose that part of building a country lies greatly in how well we're able to build its people. And I think with everything that I do, I always have that in mind. How is this going to build people? How are we going to build people in the country?
Especially because you're such a purpose-driven young woman, and you're touching up on purpose. Please, let's talk about her destiny.
Yes.
What is it about, and what actually caused the inception of it?
When I was 20 years old, I got featured on the cover of Destiny magazine, right? And I was with Kanye Dlomo. I was with Kanye Dlomo there on the cover, and it was their mentorship edition issue. So there were other leaders as well, Wendy Luhabe, Lira, Carol Bauer, with their mentees at the time. One thing then I then had realized is that, okay, given my background, I think oftentimes we tend to criticize our background so much. So if it doesn't come with as much money or certain material things that the world deems as success or family legacies, then we're like, okay, well, my family didn't do much for me. But like I said, grew up with my grandmother and my mother, and one of the things was tea, you know, and because they're also very entrepreneurial in nature, right? But they grew up under patriarchal conditions, which was even worse for them. And number 2, whenever they'd have visitors at home and serious conversations, so my grandmother likes having people that she shares knowledge with, you know, they'd come ask for advice from her. She'd always connect with them and connect with other family members as well. It would always be over a cup of tea. And I guess for me then, that is what I decided will be a legacy that the women in my family have left for me. So it doesn't necessarily have to come in monetary terms, but given the education that I have, the platforms that I've been privileged to be a part of, if I can turn what I have adopted as my family's legacy into something that is sustainable and something that I can share with the rest of the world, that's how her destiny came about.
Women of destiny, I like that. I like that. And speaking about tea, we're not having tea, we're having coffee. So we're quickly going to get into a word game. So are you ready?
Okay.
Okay. You understand totally about pressure. So can you feel the pressure with you and me having coffee right now? So the name of the game is called Guess the Person. And you have to think quickly on your feet.
Okay. Are they South African?
I can't tell you that. We're going to go straight into the first question. She was one of the first presenters of Jam Alley, famous for her line. The second question, he's a famous South African comedian known for pranking people. Some of these movies include There's a Zulu on My Stoop and Hijack Story. Yes. She was an African-American author, poet, dancer, actress, and singer. One of her famous poems is Still I Rise.
Maya Angelou.
Of course. She's a former South African TV host and a media mogul and founder editor of Destiny magazine. Of course. She's a multi-award winning South African musician and is also the lead vocalist and songwriter of Bongo Muffin. Chosen to participate President Obama's Mandela Washington Fellowship, and she was a mentor on SABC One Future Leaders show.
That's me!
Of course! Look at me like you don't know.
I'm like,
Oh, it was fun having you. Thank you so much for being such an inspiration to young women. Keep it up.
Thank you for having me.
Sinebhongo ngelinenekazi eliqhakazayo elingubonge Gxwala kwaye simnqinela okuhle njengoba eleqa ikamva elihle kwaye ekhuthaza namanye amanenekazi ukuba enze njalo. It's now time to take a quick break. When we come back, we take you on a musical journey in celebration of Jesus Christ's resurrection. You don't want to miss it. We'll be back in a moment.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Salamkela kwakhona kwi-Identity, inkqubo ethandwa kakhulu eyenkolo ezahlukeneyo khona apha ku-SABC 1 Mzansians. Viwe Gxwala. Enkosi ngokuhlala nathi. For Christians across the world, Easter is a time of repentance and celebration of Jesus Christ's death and resurrection. For most people, the celebrations continue well past their Easter weekend. Neo Moloto recently invited us to attend a music concert held in celebration of the resurrection of Christ in Ennerdale, Johannesburg. And this is what he had to say. Hi Identity team, my name is Neo Moloto and I'm a member of the Gospel Revolution Male Choir. As you know, Easter is a very important time for the Christian community because it's when we celebrate Jesus Christ. I'd like to invite you guys to a musical celebration and see how my choir mates and I are using our gift of singing to glorify and celebrate Christ. I hope you'll honor us with your presence. Regards, Neo Moloto. Njengesiqhelo, iqela lethu belinomdla ukuba kulo mcimbi womculo. Balibhekisa e-Ennerdale kuyechitha ixesha noNeo. Masibone ukuba babuye nantoni na.
This is my identity.
Dumelang Identity viewers. O bua mo ke Neo Moloto, one of the members of the Gospel Revolution Male Choir. The choir that is based ko Soweto. So ho ya Jesu Kriste e bohlokwa rona ba Kriste lefatshe ka bophara. Kenang le nna ha re tlo enjoy the concert with other members. Ha re tlo bua ka #uvugile. I'm joined by Reverend Ramatlo of the Methodist Church of Southern Africa. So what is the significance of this concert?
The significance of this concert, Tiki Hori, to show young people that Jesus Christ can be celebrated in many ways. So for he has risen, that we are liberated. So this is an opportunity for each and every one where I express talent and the gifts it's a high.
So Reverend, how is it important for young people to engage in this such spiritual concerts, and then in terms of spiritual growth and building their futures and lives?
I think young people will learn that, like for an example, if you are to sing to a choir, it requires you a certain form of discipline that you need to attend practice daily and on time, punctuality, such things. So that as well builds your character, builds who you are, so that you become a better person, and that's how your spiritual maturity, you will be able to reach that spiritual maturity through discipline.
At the moment, Renale Chavlani Masego, one of the members Bagibinan Lebon. Ntate, ne kopa botsa ka history ya choir. Hore qadile kae, e qadile jwang, hobaneng e qadile?
Okay. Gospel Revolution Male Choir e qadile ka selemo sa 2014 ka kgwedi ya November, and the guys ba re binang le bona, we used to sing le bona even years before, and now the reason now re choir ebe e qale, it was for us to move from the choir in Erling Koyona and be more choir in Erling Koyona, because we always wanted to have that growth and change mo mina was to done.
Ke kopa botsa ho qadile jwang go shapele bomme sekupu?
Bomme ba qadile choir bana ka 2009, but I started playing drum for bona in 2011, and hane ke bapala, they saw me go kerekeng ke bapala drum, and then they started having an interest be batla ona batlo mpotsa hore can I be able hore ke badlale drum na, and then from there it continued.
So basically, since ushapa scoop, so what do you benefit from your country?
Growth. It's all about growth after all. Growth within the church, growth outside as a young member, and also being influenced and exposed to dintho tsa Modimo throughout.
Benefit as a whole, like in terms of spirituality, benefit
music wa rona ki music o phidisang, ki music wa gospel, ki music o buang ka lentswe la Modimo. So as we know that music is a food to the soul, and when the soul is hungry, the only thing okay feeding your soul it's music and prayer. So our music is based on prayer and the message otswang ko Modimo.
As we bona re ntse hashtag uvugile. So this celebration here, what does it mean to you?
The celebration is basically about moving from the darkness into the light, because now we are rejoicing, we're making a noise, we're dancing. Christ has risen.
So mama, no ile nonto attenda di kereke tsa Paseka kaofela tsona. What did you understand ka Sunday? Hane ba re uvugile.
What's about the Sonta Hanebar Utsuhile? To me, it was a new beginning. Knowing fella hore Utsuhile says to us, Sebesaruna Sihlotsu. We have a new lease of life. We have to just carry on. It was given to us in Bible. We are victors. We win. Kalifula haye. Dibetsaruna di tshwaretso. Maqeba a rona a fodile. Just fela ka hosho hae. Mara tso ya hae means bophelo bo botjha.
So mama potso ya o qetela fela. Since mama ba tlo ntshwetsa tshepo ya ha ho batjha ke eng ka sena sebaka?
My hope is to see the churches ditletse ka batjha, because they are our church of tomorrow. Rona re a tsofala re a tsamaya re lo dula hae re tloya lo tla kerekeng. But knowing that bona ba hodile ba ithutile ba tlo ntshetsa pele lentswe la Modimo.
How will you encourage young people batle mona mo di concerting tsena, the religious concerts batle ba tlo khona empower batho ba bang ka montle batjha ba bang?
We would love abantu ukuthi baze, and so that they could hear ukuthi nasenkonzweni we still do have this fun that we normally face masihlangana nayo ngaphandle, and kuko konke youngsters are allowed ukuthi banga participate in these things, because talent such as music, it's something ukuthi uNkulunkulu has invested kuwe and you don't have to pay anything for it. So we just need the right channel to utilize it, and then wonke umuntu can feel free to be part of it.
Ratalebo viewers, the Identity and the crew for being with us the whole day. So now it's back to Sis Viwe at the Identity coffee shop.
Matthew 18 verse 20 in the Bible says, "For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them." Thank you to Neo Muloto and the Gospel Revolution Male Choir for allowing us to share their spiritual story. Nani ningabelana nathi ngebali lenu elomoya, elenkolo okanye elamasiko. Ningasithumela i-email enzulu ku-identitytvshow@gmail.com. Singavuyela ukuva kuni nabelane ngebali lenu nababukeli bethu. Let's take one more break. When we come back, we check out today's media review segment, which features a DIY ideas app, as well as a book about a woman's journey towards spiritual fulfillment and emotional healing. See you in a bit.
This is my identity. This is my identity.
Welcome back to Identity, right here on SABC 1 Mzansians for sure. I'm Viwe Gxwala. Today's show got off to an uplifted start with coffee, cupcakes, and an inspiring conversation with founder of the Young Women's Education Fund, Gxwala. We then headed to Enidale in the south of Johannesburg for a musical celebration of Jesus Christ's resurrection. Now it's time to check out what's trending on the media front. This is What's Happening. If you're looking for easy-to-understand how-to guides for anything from cooking to DIY projects or even gardening, or if you found a simple way to tackle an age-old problem, then today's app is just for you. It's called Snap Guide. Let's check it out.
Snap Guide is a simple way to create and share how-to guides. The homepage features a random selection of how-to guides from various categories. For a more specific listing, select the search option. You can then view guides by recent or most popular. The app also lists the guides according to alphabetic groupings from arts and crafts to beauty, food, pets, or sport and fitness. Select the grouping of your choice, pick a guide, and get creative. Each guide gives detailed step-by-step instructions that include pictures to help you visualize your project. It also offers a convenient list of supplies, which you can add to your shopping list. Want to refer to the how-to guide later? Simply favorite it. The app also gives you the option to share each guide via email or on popular social media sites. Do you have a how-to guide that you want to share? Select the Add button, pick a topic, and make a list of the supplies needed. You can then add the steps using text, photos, or video clips by selecting the Add Step tab. Once that's done, add a summary of your how-to guide, choose a cover image, and publish your guide for the online community to see. Share and discover new and interesting life hacks with the Snap Guide app.
What a great way to share helpful information with an online community of creatives. Now for a spiritual twist with today's book review, which takes us on a woman's journey across 4 continents in search of spiritual fulfillment and emotional healing. It's called God in All Worlds, A Journey to Light by Michelle Friedman.
God in All Worlds is an inspirational story of a woman's journey across 4 continents in a quest for spiritual fulfillment and emotional healing. The author takes the reader along on a journey using chapters that each tell of a different period in her life, from a time as a Catholic nun to her experiences in Jerusalem. The book details the author's life through chapters such as regress, retreat, reflect, redeem, and restrain. The author tells an emotional story with immense highs and lows, as well as detailing her healing process in the quest to discover her identity. God in All Worlds, A Journey to Light by Michelle Friedman is a book you certainly must add to your collection.
With that, we've come to the end of yet another episode of Identity. We hope your spiritual cup has been filled in preparation for the week ahead. Stay in touch with us via our social media pages. Search for Identity TV Show on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Like or follow us, and just like that, we'll be connected. If social media isn't really your thing, don't worry. You can send an email to identitytvshow@gmail.com. Afro soul singer Malay plays us out with a track called You Make My Heart Go. Let's hook up again next Sunday at 11 a.m. on SABC 1 Mzansians for show. From me, Viwe Gxwala, and the Identity team, goodbye.
Really don't know what more I could ask for when you're always on my mind. And I cannot make it through the words that would have you by my side. Still I pound on what it would cost me. I wonder how much longer it will be. Wonder if it's time though that you would just level with me. And I would ask of tomorrow to come with brighter skies. And I would ask for tomorrow to bring me a truthful light. And I would ask for tomorrow to help you to open your eyes. There's a cloud of love passing out.